Okay guys, in this next series of videos, you can see, if you looked at the last video, Bruce just shot this CET. So I'm going to use his target he just shot. I'm going to stack my rounds on top of it to get this total of 100 rounds so we can get our total percentage here. So again, what we're looking at, that was static performance shooting, right? 3, 5, 10, 15, 25 yards, working, balancing speed and precision. Now we want to see how we manipulate the gun. How does our brain work? How do we problem solve? So that's what this block is. So what we're going to do first is starting off with tactical reloads or proactive reloads, right? Because we want to make sure we can manage those very efficiently and very quickly. So we're going to put those on the clock, which a lot of people don't do. Then we're going to do speed reloads, and then we're going to work on 3 malfunctions. Okay, now there's a lot of different malfunctions, but these are the 3 main ones that we can quickly identify and quickly fix, okay? Like failure to fire, stovepipes, and double feeds. Yes, there's squibs, yes, there's bad primers and all that stuff, but we want to try to keep to the main fundamental 3 right now. Yes, I would practice all the other ones as well, like failure to extract and everything else, but I just want to stick with those because that's just testing my manipulation for today. If you want to continue to train the rest of the malfunctions, obviously, we'd absolutely say that. But these are like quick malfunctions. I get in a gunfight, I can fix it extremely quick and get back in the fight, okay? So I'll give you the time frames. We're going to go back to the 5-yard line, and that's how we're going to start this. Okay, guys, so what we're doing now is we're going to do tactical reloads. So this is a kind of a different type of drill. I'm going to just draw and fire 5 rounds, okay? Now, I'm still being scored on my hit, so be accountable. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to search and assess and check my surroundings with my head, not my gun. We do not search and assess with gun because your eyes can move up to 900 degrees a second under stress. Your gun cannot, okay? So a little bit of science there for you to justify why we don't do this. Because then when I have to swing a gun, you're using angular momentum now, which is not a good thing, right? We see something, we extend the gun to it. We see something, we extend the gun to it. So don't get in that habit, okay, guys? So you'll see me turning my head. At the same time, I'm just going to reach down and hit my shot timer, which is set on 6 seconds right now. And I have 6 seconds to reach down, grab the proper magazine, top it off, put the mag back away, hands back on the gun in 6 seconds, okay? So here's what that looks like. And I'm just trying to get my hands back on the gun. So we'll do that one more time. And that's it for tac reloads, okay? Make sure you're deliberate, but put it under time, because a lot of people don't time tac reloads, and that's when the rounds start coming over your head. So make sure everything has a time perspective to it. Next one's going to be speed reload. I'm going to take an empty magazine that I've already got prepped. I'm going to do a proper tac reload, because that's going to come into play here in a little bit. So I've got a round in the chamber, nothing in the magazine. This drill is going to be done from the relaxed ready, as we call it. So just kind of chilling out right here. I'm going to set my clock for 3 seconds on delay. So I have 3 seconds to fire, reload, and fire, okay? All right, so I just did that at 265. What I'm going to do now is be aware of my muzzle. I'm going to bend down. I'm going to pick up my magazine. I'm going to top it off. That's going to come into play here in a minute. And I'm going to do it one more time. .241. Pick that up. I'm done with this magazine, so you can go ahead and put that away. All right, now we're going to go into our malfunctions. So the first malfunction is going to be a failure to feed or a failure to fire. That's when you get that click, right? It's a full hammer drop or a striker drop. So all I'm going to do for this to set it up is mag out, round out, mag back in. Now I'm setting it up here to shortcut the process. Because what I don't want to happen is slightly depress the magazine, which is how I would typically want to set this up, and then I have to hold on to the magazine, or I fire the first round, the mag falls on the ground. So we're just trying to shortcut that process. If you want to do it fully, take a piece of 3M painter's tape, put it on one side of a magazine to create enough friction to where it'll stay in there and it won't fall out when you're doing it. But for this, just really quick, mag out, round out, mag back in. We're going to do the same thing, 3 seconds. The objective of this is mental, man. You got to hear that click. If you don't get a click, then don't do this drill. The click is the audible that tells you, put the magazine back into place, charge the gun and fire. You're going to fire 2 rounds in 3 seconds. Okay, and then we'll set that up again. Mag out, round out, mag back in. Okay, so that's the failure to fire drill. Now we're going to bend down, pick up a piece of spent brass, and we're going to set up a stovepipe. The best way to do this is actually put the piece of brass in your firing hand or pick it up with your firing hand. So I'm just going to change hands with the gun, and so you can see, kind of got it there on my ring finger. I'm just going to press check the gun, just like we normally press check it. And as I press check, I want to make sure I keep my hands away from the muzzle and away from the trigger. And I can just squeeze it and keep it right there, okay? You set your brass in so you have a top stovepipe, or you can do a side stovepipe. Now I would suggest you clear this multiple ways. A lot of people like to sweep. If you're going to sweep, don't use the tips of your fingers because your fingers bend. Use this part of your hand right here because it pops right out. But if you don't like that technique because you're not 100% sure there's actually another round feeding in the chamber, which most of the time there is, then I would identify it and sweep it out and then fire 2. Okay, so yeah, you're going to lose a round if it was fed in the chamber, but that's not really a big concern to me right now. It's getting the gun working is my concern. So 3 seconds for this one as well for 2 rounds. Okay, so that's the rack method. I'm going to bend down, set up again. You can see fire control hand, press check, safety, place it in with safety, and you're good to go. Next one, I'll do the sweep method. And that would be the stovepipe clearance, okay? Next malfunction, the last one for this set, is the double feed. How to set up a double feed is keep your muzzle down range. All I'm going to do is rotate the gun over because I want to lock and catch the round that just came out of the chamber. Now you can see the other magazine with the round still in there. I'm going to manually insert this bullet about halfway right there, and then I'm going to go ahead and ease the slide home. That is a classic double feed. Do not ever let the bullet go down inside the chamber, okay? A lot of people do that to simulate a failure to extract. So you have the bullet in the chamber, and you have another live round coming up out of the magazine into the back of that other fresh primer. I don't advise doing that because if the event you slam your slide home and it does detonate, you've got a gun that's out of battery, 2 bullets going off. Okay, that'll be catastrophic failure to you and the gun. So you can set up very safely just like this. Now, this has 6 seconds to clear it and fire 2 rounds. I'll do a couple different methods here. The first one is a ditty method. So we've been sharing ditties with you guys. I would ID, lock, strip, rack, 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 and then gas it up and go. Okay, that's that. If you want to go through the whole entire ditty, that'll help you get every single process down. If you've got other methods like mag strips, you can do that. So I'll do a couple different ones here. All right, 6 seconds on the clock for 2 rounds. Okay, and that's 5 seconds flat, so you can see there's plenty of time there. I'm going to set it up again. Lock and catch, manually reinsert, ease the slide home. Okay, now I'm going to do a magazine depress method, which I just depress my magazine and rack the slide, which is actually a pretty effective method. And that's done in 350, 3 seconds and 0.50. So that's a lot faster, a lot more efficient. Just make sure that whatever malfunction clearances you do, it's just like a car, man. Every car is built differently. Every car may have different types of malfunctions, right? Different handguns, different carbines. So don't get sucked into somebody's Bible or because you're watching a video, that's how you're going to clear your malfunctions. Test them all and make sure what works with your gun works 99% of the time, because we know that not everything works 100% of the time. Okay, so guys, that is the shooting portion. Now we're going down range and we're going to score it. Now you can see there's a movement block here. We're not going to share that just yet because I think this is a really good place to start. So static CET back to 25 yards or meters, and then of course coming up here and doing the manipulation block with tack reloads, speed reloads, and the 3 malfunctions. And again, if you want to add more stuff into that, you guys feel free to do whatever you want. We're just giving you a baseline performance template to go out and check your combat effectiveness that day. Okay, guys, this takes time. Don't go to the range the first time and think that you're going to shoot a 70% and go, oh, I suck, or hey, I shot 100%. This is the balance. This is where we typically see on the line. A lot of people will be shooting really, really well, like 100% on this, but they're maximizing all the time. They're almost cheating themselves, right? They're not cheating the class because that's their score. But we want to come out and fail. We want to push ourselves to that next failure point because that's how the aggregate of increased marginal gains works in performance and training. So if you want to eventually get here, you got to put in the work, right? And just like Einstein, man, it's not about who's smarter, who's stronger, all that shit. It's about who stuck with the problem longer. And that's what makes us smarter. A higher level of intelligence comes from practice. It comes from deliberate practice and breaking it down. And that's what we want you guys to get out of this. So stay tuned for the next series on carbine. I'm Travis Haley. Stay sharp, be safe.